here he is again on the precipice of a whole new life.
I had this singular goal my whole life to get on the PGA Tour.
It's there! Unbelievable.
And as I got older, it just became more and more, like, severe.
Keegan Bradley.
In that every move that I made was to get to this point.
What an electric finish for Keegan Bradley.
You never know when it's your last team. You never know when it's your last point you're going to win for the country.
Wanted so desperately to get into big championships in moments like this.
Keegan said, I want to make the Ryder Cup team, and I quote, more than anything in the world.
It was like a full circle moment that I had done this. It took me 10 years.
It's a movie. It's like a storybook ending.
Keegan Bradley.
The thing I'm most excited for is to see our groups together in the tournament. I can't wait to see the boys out there when the gun goes off and to see how they respond to the crowd.
New York fans are extremely passionate, and I think that multiplies even more when you're playing on their course at Bethpage. It's much more than a golf course to a lot of these people.
Keegan, why is the Ryder Cup important to you?
I think as a kid in sports, you always are craving that team atmosphere. When you're a part of it, it changes you forever. What I've been telling the team as well is you never know when your last Ryder Cup is.
Hello, guys. How you doing? Early.
I think we can all agree that me being the captain was definitely a shock to everybody. So I didn't have the experience Luke had. And growing up where I grew up in New England, I actually had people my whole life tell me that I wasn't going to be able to do this.
I got started in professional golf as a PGA Club professional late in my life, but it's been Keegan's whole life. And my sister, Pat Bradley, World Golf Hall of Fame. This is my sister and I playing in the JCPenney Mixed Team Classic. Keegan's on the bag.
I grew up in Vermont, and ever since I could remember, I wanted to play on the PGA Tour. Never crossed my mind that I couldn't do it. But growing up in Vermont, there were a lot of challenges in that, and we had like real winters. And when the winters came, I ski raced. And then when it was starting to be spring, I just couldn't wait to get the clubs out and go play golf.
When I became a golf professional at the Haystack Golf Club in Wilmington, Vermont, he just came with me every single day.
My dad and I lived in this trailer in Bolton, Massachusetts for a summer. I keep this picture here. I loved every second of this time in here.
Little tin cup too. You know, we had campfires at night and we'd go golf. Our life was golf.
I slept on the table folded down, and you'd put the cushions that you sat on as the bed. My dad and I are both 6'3", pretty big guys. This was tiny. We had no house phone. We had no cell phone. There was a convenience store like, I don't know, 50 yards from our house, and I had the number of the payphone at the time. And so like I'd be like, all right, you gotta call me at 4:30 and I'll be waiting, and the thing would ring and I'd pick it up.
He would just play and practice every single day.
I loved it. There was never a thought of, this is weird. This is so cool, this is so fun. We moved there my senior year, and they actually had an amazing golf team there. One of the best junior golfers in the world was John Curran, who played on this golf team. I had never met another person that had the same just obsession with golf.
And so here's Keegan, and here's John Curran, and then all of a sudden, who's this kid from Vermont? Well, boom, and they pushed each other.
I had never had a person that would be like, all right, it's pouring rain, it's 40 degrees, we're still going to play. I'd always be by myself.
We were one sport athletes, so like all we did was golf. And in Massachusetts, the season's really short. So we would go every day in the winter. We'd go to the golf dome, which is like this indoor driving range. We would go to the golf course and shag balls and down the fairway, even though it was closed.
I'd never been around anyone with the same passion for what I wanted to do. The same sort of like grit, the same sort of intensity.
It was always just like very in the present. This is what we're doing today. I don't know, we were both obsessed with it.
I look back at that time of my life as a very important time. This was when things could have gone one of two ways. And that year at Hopkins High School shaped me.
Keegan won the Massachusetts High School State Championships It was an amazing high school team. They won by 21 shots. Keegan was the medalist.
Neither of us were destined to be successful at golf. Like, we basically just made it happen.
I was so lucky that without John, I don't know if I would have, gotten to where I am.
Hi, I'm Keegan Bradley, and I'd like to welcome you here to New England on a beautiful fall day.
I wasn't getting recruited. I wasn't, no colleges wanted me to come to their college.
I'd just like to tell you I'm a hard worker, and I know I'll help your program if you give me the opportunity.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mark Bradley. I'm Keegan's dad, and I'm also a PGA golf professional.
I thought, okay, we're doing his resume to send to colleges, and it's paper, it's hard copy, and I did this, I did that, and that's all fine and dandy, but why not a video?
It's a driver, a chip, some putts, and I had this thick accent back then. It was horrible.
And, as a golf professional and someone who has taught many a lesson, this is the swing that I taught Keegan that, if you know golf, he's got it. Coach Darby calls him from St. John's. Keegan answers it. I'm watching him from the couch.
We asked him what the offer was going to be, and he said full scholarship. And my dad and I acted all cool, oh, okay, great. And then we were high-fiving, and it was just an amazing moment. Here's a kid who grew up in New England, Vermont, and now all of a sudden I'm going to college in Queens. This is a serious change.
It's tough to get to these big schools. And I think ultimately he landed a great spot at St. John's.
He was a freshman, but I knew he was the best player, so he was kind of the leader, even though he was the freshman.
I gave him the nickname Grandpa because he would go to bed so early just because he wanted to put in the work the next day.
We all lived in the golf house together. Myself, Keegan, Sevi was always there, Kevin Villardo. I would argue that we were the closest team in the country.
Turns out I just loved St. John's, and the people that I met there, basically all New Englanders that came in. Nothing could have taken me from St. John's.
We were really tight-knit. We really cared about each other, and it shows because we're all in our mid to late 30s now, and we're still best friends.
When we were in college, we didn't have a driving range. We would just play. Mondays, we would go to Bethpage Black.
The course was closed on Mondays. They were doing course maintenance or something similar to today. And so we used to park right over this tent in those woods back there is the maintenance area.
We would play 3 through 14 because they wouldn't let us on the other side of the road.
Some of the coolest memories we have from playing at St. John's.
It's the inner loop, and we'd be the only people on the golf course. Sometimes they wouldn't even have pins in the green.
I don't know how many people have been able to play that course with literally no one there.
We've had so many incredible memories on that golf course, us together, just playing in an 8-summer.
That's why this St. John's thing was the perfect place for him to go, because of all those guys.
He went full speed. I think he won 10, 12 times in his 4 years there.
When you're playing on a golf team, you're really together. And we created this bond that we'll have forever. I was playing the Hooters Tour, and a lot of people that are playing the mini tours, they're either come from a lot of money or they have huge backers. So for me, I'm playing the mini tours, I'm doing it to make money. I figured I needed to make $2 grand a week to break even, which is coming in the top 10 every week. I was completely broke. I had under $1,000 in my bank account. Q School was due that week, and Q School's $4,500 at the time. Unimaginable money. I got the nerve to call my friend Doc. His name's Glenn Morocco. Everyone calls him Doc. He's a doctor, who I had met at a club that I had worked at.
He calls me up, and I say, hey, Keegan, what's up?
Doc, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but...
I said, where are you? He goes, I'm in Texas. I got a Hooters tournament, and...
I'm dead broke, and I can't afford to pay for Q School. It's $4,500. And it's due Thursday. It's Tuesday.
And I'm like, okay. I said, give me your bank account information, and I'll wire you some money. He goes, that's not why I called you. He goes, I don't want it from you. Is there any way we can get an event going? We can raise some money? And I'm like, Keegan, I got it.
And he goes, don't worry about it. And he sent me $6 grand. So I paid for tour school, and then I had an extra $1,500 in my bank account, which might as well have been $1 million.
The sigh that he let out was just the stress of the world coming off of his chest.
And I went on that week and I won the Hooters Tour event. I won 35 grand. And you know, from that point to winning the PGA was like a year and a half.
Would be for Keegan's 8th birdie of the day.
Those 18 months were crazy. They were happening so fast.
It's literally been my dream since I've been 2-3 years old.
You know, he went on to get through Q School, win the Byron Nelson.
Golf's got another young star in Keegan Bradley.
I get my tour card and now I'm like really like almost like frothing.
And then win the PGA.
He is one of the best intensity putters out there.
But it was like unbelievable. He was on a heater.
No matter what I was doing, we'd come back. We all moved in together, basically, down here in Jupiter, Florida. And it was like we were in the St. John's Golf House in Queens.
It was inspiring for him to go out there and succeed. So, first of all, he could like buy a bigger house that we could all live in.
I won the PGA, and the PGA of America flew me home in a private jet. I had never been on one before. The guys are like, cannot wait for him to come get me. I got the trophy in the plane. Like, this is like crazy. And we landed, and I've come out with the trophy, and it just was like a pretty special moment, you know, to share with the guys. It almost felt like we all won it.
The group of people that have supported and been around him from the beginning were around him when he didn't have any money. He had never won a PGA Tour event. And I think he looks at, hey, my true friends are the ones that were here from the beginning.
So from that moment when I called Doc, a year and a half went by and I was a 2-time PGA Tour winner and a major champion. Without Doc doing that, I don't know what would have happened. I have these people in my life that just like come along. This is a miracle.
Want to hit a few shots, Logan? Okay.
No, this ball.
Good one. Yes. Nice. Will you tell me what to do? Because I've never hit off this one before. Here. 1, 2, 3. What?
Oh,
did you see it splash?
Early in my career, I played in my first 2 Ryder Cup teams and my first President's Cup team all in a row. And I truly thought I was going to play on every one of these teams for the rest of my career.
Showing why he has the talent, the intensity, the moxie to be one of the best in this game.
It never crossed my mind that I wouldn't. So this was my Ryder Cup bag at Medina, really special. And this is the Ryder Cup bag signed by the entire team from Glen Eagles. Then not only was I not playing on them, I wasn't even in the picture to play on them.
How do you keep the frustration from creeping in if you're Keegan Bradley?
Goodness. I remember thinking, like, you have to be at peace that you're never going to do this again. You have to be okay with it, that part of your career is over. And I did. I was okay with it.
He kind of fell out of the conversation for a little bit. And as you get into your 30s, you may need something to kind of like remotivate yourself. The Ryder Cup has been that for him.
Just 2 top 3 finishes in his last 3 seasons. Gets win number 5.
New England's very own takes the title at the Travelers.
And then started to play a little bit better. And then I was like, no, I really need to do this again. I really, and Rome was the one I really wanted to play.
Not making the Ryder Cup team was a huge hit for him.
Devastated when he didn't get the call.
My friends were there through this whole thing, and they were pissed. My friends were.
That's a low point for sure for him, right? Everybody's texting him saying sorry.
After I got the call that I wasn't on the team, I remember calling John and telling him, and we were bummed out. But I kept telling the guys, if you don't finish in the top 6 and you got to rely on a pick, you can't be upset you're not on the team.
Keegan gets left off the team, and then we all watched the 2023 Ryder Cup where USA lost in Rome. And then you come off that kind of like hangover, and it's a big question mark, like who's going to be our next guy? Like who is going to protect Bethpage Black?
Captain Keegan Bradley.
He's here in the chance.
Keegan Bradley, he's been announced the 2025 Ryder Cup Captain. Some will say, well, it's because of what happened. Perhaps. But this guy's from Boston.
It's
Went to
perfect.
college in New York.
It's perfect.
It's a Bethpage black. There's a lot of things there that make Keegan a good pick.
That was not on my radar of things that was going to come out of his mouth. But at the same time, I was like, dude, you're going to be amazing. Like, this is going to be awesome.
I think it came out of nowhere for Keegan himself. He answers all the questions of the ridicule that the team has received the last few years. He's more connected to the players. He's still an active PGA Tour player. His connection to the course and the area, I think Keegan's the perfect pick.
It was like a full circle moment that I had done this and you know, worked, took me 10 years. When I spoke to the players and I could really sense, their excitement, I felt like, okay, this is great.
How you doing today, Keegan?
Hey, good.
Appreciate you taking the time to look at those customs. Did you have any questions about the actual models?
Yeah, no, I love them. I love the red, white, and blue and the stars, and very patriotic. I love it. So we're giving the guys special themed JLAB headphones, and it's always fun at the Ryder Cup. Everything you get is red, white, and blue, and you're excited about play for your country.
You think the guys will enjoy them?
I think they're gonna love these. They're super comfortable, and they're very Team USA ready. For me, everything is like 100%. Take a lot of pride in being the Ryder Cup captain, working every day. So it's difficult for me to just casually do things. I'm trying to do what I think is best for our guys. And what's unique about me being the captain is I know these guys really well.
Awesome, awesome.
I love the silhouette of the player on the box. I think that's super cool. So special when you go into your hotel room at a Ryder Cup and you get all the gear. And this will be one of those great things.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Ryder Cup team, it's a 12-player team. 6 guys are exempt off points on a 2-year point scale. The captain has 6 captain's picks to fill out his 12-man team.
We got another 6 to fill out the team. You know, trying to round out this team the best we can to play Bethpage in the Ryder Cup. I would love to be a playing captain. No one's really had the opportunity that I've had.
Keegan Bradley takes the BMW again.
I'm so proud. It's the first time that I've ever seen him win live. So this is a very, very special day.
Wow, have things changed for Keegan Bradley in his golfing life.
If I make the team, I'll play. I don't see myself being a captain's pick.
Keegan Bradley has the decisive point to win the President's Cup.
I didn't know if I'd ever get to do this again. And to win the point, my goodness, the last time I played, I was the point to lose the Ryder Cup. So if this is my last round as a player, maybe it is, I'm happy with that.
9-iron for Bradley.
Who attended this tournament as a young boy, hoping and dreaming one day he would make his life out here. Considers this a major. Can he deliver one here at the final hole? Did he ever?
You telling me you don't want this guy on your Ryder Cup team?
As close to a Ryder Cup moment as I've ever felt.
They didn't pick him because they didn't think he could make it. They picked him because they think he might make it.
Keegan Bradley to overturn it all at the last hole and win it with 1 putt. A Keegan comeback not to be believed.
This is a huge burden to carry, and he's still playing, so there's a lot of things that he had to think about now.
Well, he might play as well, so he plays with us. Week in, week out, he competes against us, he beats us.
Never would have even considered playing on the team if I hadn't won. Winning a tournament like that with that field is a big deal. If I was looking at a player, I would think like that's a big step towards making this Ryder Cup team.
He's got a lot of tough decisions. If he wasn't captain this year, would he be on the team? He's had a hell of a year.
You said you would only be a playing captain if you earned it on points. Have you convinced yourself that you would be an additive to this team now?
Go USA. That was the toughest decision of my life, but the guys really finished off the season on a high note, and we were really confident with the players that we had on the team, and ultimately that was the reason why I decided not to play. For the last year and a half, I've been having to do 2 jobs at once, so it's really great that I can sort of
hone my focus on one job.
Keegan's been open to hearing every suggestion possible from all of us to say, how do we make it as normal as can be and go out there and do what we need to do is put points on the board.
You have to earn the respect of the players. Normally, you're looking at your captain. He's a guy we all grew up idolizing. For me, I had to really prove to the guys that, you know, this was something that I could handle, and that's something that I don't take lightly.
It can't be stated enough how good of a job Keegan's done for us so far, and the energy that he's brought has been great. And he's very, very organized. He's doing a really good job keeping the guys fired up.
Probably has a journal that he's writing in. He learned that from some of the older guys. He'll bring cohesiveness, he'll bring openness, he'll bring accountability.
Plays with a lot of fire, plays hard, and with a lot of determination. I'm just excited to, you know, go to battle with somebody like that.
Keegan's ties to Bethpage and in the Northeast are going to be vital and used well.
I'm lucky to have some good friends, and they're supportive. They're always there for me. My greatest memories in this sport have been not even necessarily making a putt or winning a match. It's the bus ride with my St. John's team. Those are the moments you remember. John is going to be my car driver, so he'll be right next to me during this whole process, which is pretty cool. My friend Sevi, who played on my golf team, is from Queens, grew up at Bethpage. Mike Ballo is a PGA professional. They do all have a little touch on this team, which is pretty cool considering we would go play Bethpage every Monday together. And then, you know, fast forward 20 years, we're all going to be out there in some form.
It's a movie. It's like a storybook ending to this Ryder Cup at Bethpage.
And it's just incredible that he gets to go back there now as the captain of the Ryder Cup.
The fact that he's the captain and he's had these friends of his for 20 years, that we've all stuck together, we've been through everything, and if they go on and win, if he wins, we win.
Going back to a place that I showed up to when I was 18 years old, like dreaming of playing the PGA Tour. To come back as the Ryder Cup captain, life feels like a dream.